Right, we're back for a new week on the 67 Hail channel with me, Hamish Carton. We've got John McGinley, a little bit more of an upbeat John McGinley than yesterday, maybe, John?
Well, that was bad. Yeah, I don't know, the post-match ones, I'm going to need to rethink how to do those because I just came on absolutely gutted and it showed. But I'm a little bit happier today, I have to say.
Good stuff. We've got Jackie McNamara on as well. Jackie, 2 videos we did last week. We've got over 30,000 views. They've been picked up by all of the major papers. It's fair to say you caused a little bit of a stir.
Yeah, it seems to be. Yeah, a lot of people coming back we've not seen for a long time. But no, as I said, obviously emotions were riding high last week. Mm-hmm. Like everybody, we just wanted the team to do well, and I'm no different. Being on the other side of it as well in the dressing room, and you're hurting after these games, and you want a response.
Sadly, guys, we've got another kind of negative video today. Again, we're going to be talking about a deficiency in Celtic. I feel like we kind of covered the main issue that everyone's talking about with regards to Neil Lennon last week, so you can check that video out. We covered that quite extensively, and it's probably not changed a lot over the last week. Something we didn't cover that certainly has continued to go wrong and probably get even worse is the defence, and that's what we're going to focus in this video. Jackie, we've conceded 8 goals in the last 3 games since we've come back for the international break. A lot of them have been really avoidable. What do you feel is going wrong at the moment at the back?
I think there's a few things. Obviously, the personnel's changed, the shape's changed, and changed in games as well. And it's maybe something that we need to work on. The goals, especially yesterday, I think they were very poor. Especially, we've done so well getting back to 3-2. You think, right, it was a kind of scare yesterday with the goals, and then he made the changes, and we got back in 2 quick goals, and we go back to 3-2, and you think, right, that's it. If there's any been more goals, it's going to be us at this stage. Then you go and concede another sloppy one. And it's just kind of, if you'd said earlier on it was going to be a 3-3, you might have taken it, but getting yourself back to 3-2. But I think that the goals that we're conceding would worry Neil at this moment. But again, the personnel has changed, in terms of who's been coming in, and the shape has changed from 3 to the 4 at the back.
Everyone's talking about Shane Duffy at the moment, obviously, Jackie. Some of these goals have been as a direct result of his defending or indirectly. He's certainly a man under fire. What's puzzling me, Jackie, is that he's obviously a good professional. He's played at a high level. He's captain of his country. He's got dozens of caps with the Republic of Ireland. So he's not a bad player, but it just seems to be going disastrously wrong for him at the moment. What do you think's at the heart of that? Do you think it's a confidence issue? What's going on here?
It's hard to say because if you look at the goals, even yesterday, the one that gets caught, what's he trying to do? He could play it back to the goalkeeper, or just put it out the park. Mm-hmm. Does he think it's too easy? I don't know what's going to obviously in his mind at that point, but it seems to be there, getting dragged out of positions, getting dragged into it. That was in the right back area where he gets caught, and it comes back across, and eventually ends up, in the back of the net. So it seems to be when he gets dragged out of position, when we're playing with the 3, he's obviously more central, and Frimpong down the wider area. But you see with the Milan game, especially I know that the last goal didn't really matter in the grand scheme of it because we need to get back in the game. But Frimpong at that point was playing as a right back. He should have been tucked in and pivot on that side and not getting between the full back. But that's little things obviously they need to work on if they're going to play back to back 4. If the right back goes forward, they shuttle across, and they'll always have their 3 anyway. That's the way it should be, protecting, unless you've got Brownie or somebody else that can fill in that area.
At what point does this blip for Shane Duffy turn into him being a bad player? Because I'll list you some examples. I remember that first game after he signed for us, he played for Ireland and he scored in the last minute, but made a terrible mistake in that game for them. His first game for us was at Ross County. I remember a moment when he really switched off and nearly let in Billy Mackay. You've got the Hibs game when he's bullied a couple of times by Nisbet. You've got the 3 recent games when I think he's kind of been at fault for a goal in every single game. Like, at what point? Basically, my question to you, Jackie, is when do you take him out of the team? When do you go, yes, he's a big player, he's an Ireland international captain, all of that kind of thing, but when do you actually take him out the firing line and put in, a Beaton when he's back fit, or a Julian?
Yeah, I think that's obviously what Neil will need to look at. When he's at what point do you take him out and rest him to bring him back in? I mean, he's not a bad player. It seems to be every kind of mistake has been heavily punished. To say, I don't know if there some of the moments here there's not think they're as good as what they are. Coming up to this level, in Scotland is different from the Premier League in England. They thinks that he would get punished. Maybe is it that, or is it just a bit sloppy to start with? I don't know. I don't know, but I think Neil obviously look at that and he'll want to protect him a little bit as well, that he's not getting hung out to dry and blamed for everything that's going wrong, because there's a lot of things that get to the points. It's not just that one bit and it's a goal. Like every goal you can dissect it as somebody not doing their job at certain bits to get there. But I think with Shane, he has made mistakes that have cost goals. As you said, the Hibs game he got away with a couple, but he didn't take advantage of that. And how far away are the other lads to come back?
I mean, Julian's still injured. He's in Germany getting his back fixed.
I think Julian's a massive miss.
Yeah, Julian's a massive miss. And, Beaton is actually training again. Lennon says he thinks if he's not available for Thursday, he should be for the weekend. And Elhamed, who can obviously play centre-half as well, has arrived at Lennoxtown today, I think, but he's got to go through all the tests that Edouard and Beaton did. So, as you say, Jackie, they're still a bit away. Do you think the defence is missing Julian at the moment, Jackie?
Possibly. I wasn't a big lover of him last year. Certain games I thought, in some games I thought he did do well. I thought he'd done his best game was away at Ibrox. He was solid that game. Other games I thought he's looked, in terms of moving his feet and getting caught underneath the ball, or a bit soft in games against Livingston and getting bullied against strikers. But I don't think it's just the Duffy one. I think Frimpong, it's always difficult in your second season being a young lad. He's been asked basically at times to be our attacker, to start things off. But first, fundamentally, you're playing in that position at right back. Working as a back four, they need to do a little bit of work with that and make sure in cohesion with each other, know each other. If one, as I said, lacks salt, just come into it, and he's not obviously time to adjust into the way of playing and how they want to play as well. And communication, obviously, it can be a big problem. Communicating to each other, new players coming in, it takes time to settle, but we don't have that luxury. We need, going away to Pretoria yesterday, scoring 3 goals, you expect to win.
Yeah. I think it's 10 we've conceded in 11 league games so far this season. The whole of last season in 30 league games we conceded 19. In the whole of the previous season in 38 games we only conceded 20. So, we've conceded half of that tally from 2 seasons ago. John, what do you think the solution is? Is it, a new formation? Obviously we've gone to the back four on Sunday, or is it getting back, Julian? Beaton's another pretty big one, isn't he?
I thought Beaton was playing very comfortably just before the international break. He was going into that Israel-Scotland game with a lot of confidence. I think it's obviously crucial that those players come back for me, and that Neil Lennon has the options, because at the moment I don't think he can afford to drop Duffy or give him a rest on the bench, whatever you want to call it. The concern for me, and I've seen a lot of fans talking about this over the last few days, is that Duffy might just not have been the right type of centre half that we were needing in that defence. We're a team who has a lot of possession, has a very high line, and you were playing against teams who are dug into their own box and we're susceptible to the counter-attack, and I'm just a bit worried about Duffy's pace. But Jackie, what do you think he's going to turn this around, or do you think he's just ill-suited to this defence, or do you think, where's the improvement here? Well, I'm just so worried that this is just going to be a factor that collapses our season.
Yeah, I think Neil will act on it. He has to act on it. You can't keep defending certain individuals if they're making mistakes coming in. It's like you said with Duffy coming in, I thought it was going to be a good signing. We spoke about it there, just you knew what it meant for the club, and sometimes that extra bit of pressure, but it hasn't been great for him. He scored a few set pieces. He's a danger in the opposite box with his height, and he's got a couple of goals for us. But I think we just want him to defend well. Especially when he's wearing that number 4 jersey, you want him to be a good solid defender. It is always a worry when you're getting players on loan. It is a risk. Any player you bring at the club's a risk, but it's a big risk because you're bringing a player in that's not been playing for Brighton. You argue, well, how can he be good enough for us at this point? You need somebody that's. We want players that are wanted at this moment. We want players that are coming in that's worked for us before, that have went on. They're at the top of their game. You're getting somebody at the top of their game, not somebody that's not quite good enough for another team at this moment. And I think it's maybe just the way the season is, the importance of this. You think, no, these guys will do well when they come in here. That we'll get the best out of them. And it is every player we bring in is a gamble. You want them to settle in quickly. You want them to adjust. And Duffy, as I said, he scored a couple of goals early on. You're thinking, great, we've got a good player here. But he's made quite a few mistakes. And there has been changes. As I said, they're changing personnel, changing shape. But I think when Neil has everybody back fit, and he picks his team, he picks his shape, and sticks to what he believes in. Is his best formation. And obviously the goalkeeper as well. The goalkeeper's come in, has been new. There's a few questions about the goalkeeper early on, how he's settled in. Certain games he's looked a bit shaky as well, compared to Fraser last year. That saved us in the League Cup final. What we said, and sometimes that's the difference between what we've had before and what we've got just now. Somebody that won us a League Cup final. The saves he made against Rangers. Would they have saved the opportunities last week? I think he probably would have, Fraser. And suddenly then we're drawing the game. It's a different game altogether.
Jackie, just lastly, what was it? What did you do during these periods of poor results at Celtic? How did you cope in your personal life? Did you read the papers? Did you read what people were saying and speaking about you, or did you just kind of all out?
Yeah, I kind of stayed my 10 years. I stayed in Edinburgh. Went back to my normal family life and stayed out of it. Didn't look at the papers because it's hysteria. I know the papers are different for everyone's social media now. The players there's no escape from it between the Twitter and every time you look at something it's all rumours and there's bust ups and there's this and that. That went on back in the day, but it was mostly in the papers and you tend not to look at it. I think the important thing for Neil is getting everybody together, getting the team together, and have that siege mentality, if you like. You can see there's people trying to disrupt what they've created, and it can easily just be dismantled very, very quickly. You can see in a week, from what have been done over the last number of years, and within a week, it can turn around quickly.
Yeah,
so it's back to basics. Back to basics in terms of the team. Defensively, they need to get back to Big Shane needs to get back to basics and focus on his defending and his shape and communication with his defence and back to clean sheets. And obviously the rest of the team that have shown that we can score goals again, which is important, and to go and build in that.
Yeah, it's concerning because we talk about all the different formations and the fact that maybe Shane Duffy isn't suited to our way of playing, but these are basic mistakes he's making that he shouldn't be making. They're basic errors. So yeah, we move forward. We've got a nice easy game on Thursday night against probably the best team in France at the moment, so not really looking forward to that, but goes without saying we'll have lots of previewing on the channel between now and then. Jackie, thanks very much.
Pleasure.
John, appreciate it.
Cheers.
And if you've not yet managed to subscribe to the channel, give that a go, click the alarm bell as well, and we'll speak to you very soon.